Welcome friends, Retro Commodore Space Magic. This is Save New York, a simple but fun little game for the Commodore 64. It's one of those games that, like a lot of them, I used to play quite a bit. So you're this guy in this jet that handles rather well with a little bit of momentum physics. And the idea is not to do that, but to get rid of these alien creatures on every level. Kind of like that. And each level becomes more difficult than the last. Those packages you see dropped by that plane are fuel and things. You have to keep your fuel up. You can see your current fuel in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. There we go. Now, the subway area that you see at the bottom of the screen, that comes into play in later levels, like the next level, I believe, is where it starts coming into play. Adds a little more dimension, a little more complexity to the game. Oh, there we go, that's great. And basically, the aliens are trying to eat the buildings. And you don't want them to do that. In fact, you're trying to stop them from doing that, while you're trying to also not shoot the buildings yourself. If I remember correctly, when you progress to the next level, the more buildings are intact, the more lights there are intact, the higher your bonus score. So it can be a little tricky, but it's fun. And the plane handles well. You can see it's kind of tricky. If you just press a direction, your plane turns that direction, and then it keeps going that direction. You don't have to hold the joystick in that direction, but if you do hold the joystick in that direction, you start going faster. And as you can see at the title screen, at the main menu, this can be a one-player or two-player, and a two-player game, you just have two planes going at the same time, zooming around. You start on either side of the screen, and then you just play it like you normally would. And that can be fun too. The Commodore 64 had quite a few games that were good two-player games. In fact, I used to have this game, I can't remember the name of it. I've tried to remember the name of it, that was exclusively a two-player game. There was no computer opponent. But you were spaceships on either side of the screen, and I think you could move up and down the screen, but not forward and back. And you had to, there we go, level 1 complete. You had to try to shoot each other across the screen. I can't remember if gravity played into it or not, but it was a fun two-player game. Sometimes I would just play it on my own, alternating joysticks to practice my accuracy. But one of the things that makes this a little more tricky is when the aliens take up a position. That one just laid an egg. When they take up a position inside a building. Okay, now, as you can see, you can land on the side. Here, let's go land over there. Avoid the subway car. You can land on the side and get in this maze here, which I think is supposed to be the subway, and fight the little alien baby. If you don't fight the alien baby, then it can turn into, I think it turns into another flying alien after a while, and just adds to the aliens you have to go up against. Anyhow, this is Save New York for the Commodore 64. If you've ever played the game before, let me know. It's certainly, like I said, it's a fun, simple little game. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Liking is always a wonderful thing to do. And tune in again next time for more retro fun.